Domestic violence is a daily battle for women all over the world, and yet it is one of the most misunderstood social injustices. Domestic violence has been glamorized by the media, victims have been blamed for their assaults, and people believe abuse is strictly physical or sexual assault. Emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse intimidates victims into staying with their abusers out of fear, and because these forms of abuse do not leave behind bruises, it's harder to recognize. And yet physical abuse can be just as hard to detect. When scars are covered up, excuses are made for the bruises, and the truth is concealed out of fear. With us today is a survivor of domestic violence. She escaped an abusive relationship many years ago and is here to share her story.
Red flags would be 2 years in, you get comfortable, and that's when it comes out, and you starts questioning intelligence. That should have been a big one. When he starts saying you're stupid and you start questioning yourself, and you've been considered an intelligent person your whole life, and all of a sudden you're wrong about everything. And then when it gets physical, it got physical probably 2 years into it. Gripped me up against the wall and choked me out. And that one was bad. That was the first one, and that was really psychological. It was physical, but it was very psychological because the next day everything's okay, and except for he goes to work and he's fine, and I'm wondering why I can't tell anybody, why I can't, my neck is stiff and I can't turn my head. And then you think, well, something's got to be wrong. If I can't tell my mom, then something's got to be wrong with this situation. That part was very psychological because you don't know what's going to set him off, and you definitely don't want to jump into that all over again. You know what's coming, and physically, of course, it all comes down to when the arguing's over. That's when the physical part starts, and that strength will intimidate you, and you don't want to get him too mad. Although after we had our daughter, that was obviously, he'd take the baby, and I'd never see her again, and definitely affects relationships. I'd never let that happen again. A little touchy about my daughter and discipline. Changed my life considerably, I would say. And like I tell my family all the time, I don't consider marrying him the stupidest thing I ever did. I consider leaving him one of the smartest life choices I've ever made. Nobody should ever hit you, okay? And that right there is pretty clear and straightforward. If someone hits you, that's wrong. Psychologically, it's a little different because you're not sure. And of course, everyone who loves you wants to tell you, oh, you're a better person than that, you don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And they're not there to hear everything in your personal life. So you doubt those things, and this person you love is telling you you're wrong and you're stupid and you can't do things, and no one should ever make you feel that way. The person that you're with should love you for who you are, so that you know that this is not right and how he makes you feel, and question yourself. I would say just listen to the people around you that love you, because they're only trying to do good. And if they think it's wrong, then you really need to take a look, and don't let them isolate you.